Did you ever try like medication or did it help?
I personally didn't. The only type of medication that I am on currently is for my depression. I don't think there's anything wrong about it, but it just my personal choice has been, well, I made it through this far in my life without being medicated and been fairly well. I mean, I know that's not the greatest logic ever,
Yeah.
but I still like my personal choices. I don't want to be dependent on something to make me feel better or act better. I mean, it helps. It definitely
Yeah.
because just helps your brain regulate more for sure. But I want to be able to handle it myself. And I guess that's kind of a control thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and like with depression, I mean, sometimes it is a brain chemistry thing, but sometimes it's like, yeah, your life sucks. It's like,
Right.
so, because like I've definitely struggled with depression in spurts throughout my life.
And that's the other thing too is I'm in therapy. I do a lot of like cognitive behavioral therapy, which helps me with all my stuff. Specifically my ADHD and my depression. And that was one of the big things that she talked about was that because one of my goals is eventually to be off it. Not that it's bad that people are on it,
Right.
like I said,
Yeah.
but it just you're gonna have to be able to handle certain situations in life. You're gonna have to be able to know how to do so. And the same thing with ADHD. You got to be able to handle certain things and be able to know how to do so.
Yeah. Well, and one thing that I did talk about in a recent podcast too
Yeah.
was it was with an addictions counselor, and
Wow.
we talked about for myself with autism, and I'm assuming it's similar experience for you, like with all the shit I've had to go through, and I get frustrated. Like, and the example I brought up was like everybody having emotional support animals and on airplanes and whatever, and it's just all this like kids these days are coddled, and it's like I've had to struggle with all this crap, and just because you can't handle it or whatever, and it's like and so we talked about the difference between like when do you push yourself and when do you actually need that accommodation or that
Right.
help. And
Right.
yeah, so and and I think we agree it's like medication itself is not bad, it can help, but also like
Not the answer for
can
everything.
you
Yeah.
get a job that you like, that pays you well and is fulfilling and whatever, instead, and nothing against retail jobs, been there, done that, but
Well, they're everything against retail jobs. Been there, done
right.
that.
Yes. I mean, the people that have done them know the reality of them, and it's
Yeah.
so anyway. Um, so yes, your retail can suck. so, uh, so like your job, like how are your relationships with your friends or family? Are you sleeping well? Are you eating? Like, are you healthy? Like, do you exercise? Do you get outside during
Right.
normal human hours? Like, there's a lot of stuff that can go into, and like you mentioned, painting. Do you have some kind of hobby for fun, fulfilling outlet? Like,
Mhm.
and if you can get all that dialed in, it's like, oh, the depression can be, maybe it doesn't 100% go away, but it can be from like a 10, like I can't freaking move to get out of bed, to
Mhm.
like, even if it's like a 9 or an 8, that's an improvement. But if you have all that stuff going well for you, it's like maybe it's a 6, maybe it's a 3.
Right.
And
Well, like, mhm.
I was
Sorry.
just gonna say, like, and once in a while, sure. Or like for me, the depression has been like it lasts for a period. It, in more recent times, like the last, I don't know, 6 years of my life or whatever, it will be bursts of like a couple of weeks when life circumstances are kind of shitty. And again, stories for another time. I'm down for a couple of weeks with that, but that might pop up once in a while. It might be for a day, it might be for a couple of weeks, is my point. But if you're at a 10 every day for months or years on end, yeah, that's bad. But start like Jordan Peterson talks about, like what can you do and what are you willing to do that can like make your life or your room, or like he talks about, like clean your room, that's your basic stuff. Like what can, like on your desk, like is there some old papers that you don't need, like that's bothering you, can you deal with those? I said, what little things can you do to start making your life that much better? So anyway.
Yeah, no, it's a conscientious effort for sure.
Yes.
I agree. Yeah, and like we were saying earlier with my identity of it, like depression is another facet of it. Like right there. Totally agree with you. Yeah.